There, and welcome to this webinar entitled Salesforce for Outlook and Gmail are retiring. What are you going to do now? So, thanks so much for joining us. I'll try to make this as quick as possible. Should be able to get through it in about a half an hour. Um, let's get rolling. Um, of course, I have the subscribe slide, right? And I see there's over 100 people watching now, which is fantastic. There were about 500 signups, so expect even more. That's great. If you could subscribe to my channel, that would be absolutely fantastic. Um, I always say this as a joke, but I really want to tell my kids that I'm an influencer, and I'm very close. We're very close to being an influencer. So please do subscribe to the channel, and I'll try to do my part and provide good content as well. So I hope. So I'm going to start out with like a fun question today, and the questions section in YouTube is where you should ask, or the comments section, I should say, in YouTube is where you should ask any questions you might have during the presentation. And I'll actually try to answer those questions in real time if at all possible. Um, so my wife and I watched Love Actually last night, and my first question is, what's your favorite holiday movie, right? Um, and it doesn't have to be, a specific holiday. It could be, The Great Pumpkin for Charlie Brown. And actually, this New Year's Eve movie is really good too, if you've ever seen it. I'm going to let you guys answer that, and I'll come back to this um, in a little bit. But I see people are already answering. If you haven't seen Love Actually, watch it. It's really good. Um, but already like somebody already put in there, It's a Wonderful Life. It's a great one. And I feel like you can't compare like the modern ones to something like that. That's like, always going to be the best movie of its time, right? Anyway, that's my opinion. I'm going to come back to this. This is really cool. I wanted to start with something just fun. So um, please continue to answer, and then we'll use the comment section for dialogue during the actual session. So just a little bit about iEnterprises first. By the way, I'm going to show a few slides, and I'm going to get into some live products. So stay tuned. We've been around since the mid '90s. Kind of crazy. Like the first incarnation of our product was a CRM that was integrated with email and calendar. So we have a ton of experience as this. With this email, calendar, and CRM integration stuff. Literally 30 years worth, or almost 30 years worth. It's interesting. Next year will be our 30th year. We've won all sorts of awards. I'm actually in New Jersey in the United States right now, New York's area, but we have offices in Europe and Asia as well. And we're actually now part of the Unaric family of companies, sorry, and we're very proud to be part of this like larger group offering CRM and Salesforce uh, products of all different kinds. And maybe we'll have a webinar someday where we cover all of these products. They're really, really cool. Um, Okay, but iEnterprises itself, here's our product offerings. We offer a connector that integrates, in this case, Salesforce and email, so Gmail or Outlook. We actually have our own CRM called iCRM, which is like an all-in-one CRM that has everything, including these connectors built in, all at one price. We have a social product called Social Insights that lets you pull any LinkedIn profile and save it as a lead in Salesforce, or our own iCRM. And that's really cool. It gets the work email, not the one they listed on LinkedIn, um, which is usually a personal one. And then we also make this connector for ChatGPT, which is a really cool product that basically automates the replying to your emails and translations and some other things. Um, right inside of email. And we include this ChatGPT stuff in the connectors as well. So if you get the connector for Gmail or Outlook and Salesforce, you get the ChatGPT integrations, kind of like having a paid ChatGPT subscription included for part of the purchase price. And then we have an offline mobile platform as well, which is actually, it could be argued it was the first um, mobile CRM. So we have thousands of customers, lots of big names, right? And also lots of smaller ones too. There's a self-service option whereby you can actually install the connector um, yourself and purchase it with a credit card. There's a free trial, of course. Okay, so let's go look at the before we address this slide. Let's see what the best uh, Christmas movies, or I should say, holiday movies are. Right. So here's Die Hard. I thought there was a controversy as to whether that really was a Christmas movie. Here's a good one. July 4th. Thank you. Uh, and then oh yeah, this is another good one. The Santa Claus. Scrooge. Yeah, I don't know, like which Scrooge version though. There's so many Scrooges. Um, hmm, yeah, this is an amazing movie as well. I remember I saw that in the movies. Um, Christmas Vacation, that's fun. Um, Four Christmases, that's a really good one too. I'm not afraid to admit it. I like the rom-com stuff. I really do like I like a good heartfelt story. Anyway, oh, A Christmas Story, that's another great one. So I actually had, and I'll move on after this. I actually, when I was a kid, I had a Red Ryder BB gun, which is like the BB gun in A Christmas Story, and, I did not shoot my eye out, just in case you were wondering. Anyway, so let's get going. That was really cool. I'm glad I did that. Maybe I'll try to ask like timely questions that are outside of the CRM space in the future. And I'm going to watch whatever movies are here. So this, by the way, this video lives in perpetuity, and you can come back to this YouTube URL at any time and replay the video, or play it right from this space. And then you can also see all the comments about what the best holiday movie is, and you can make sure you watch them all. So I hope you do that. So let's get going. So why is CRM and email integration so important? I really love this study. It's an Inc. study. It says that people spend 30 hours a week. The first study up here, people spend 30 hours a week on checking their email, not even writing email, just checking email. So that could be like the equivalent of 3/4 of your work week figure is spent just checking email. So, yeah, I mean, to me, I extrapolate that, and it means that uh, you need to have your CRM, you need to have Salesforce embedded in your email, or it's not going to be used, right? And speaking of ease of use, these two other studies from Forbes and Capterra, they just talk about how CRM ease of use is so critical for CRM, and that the usage of CRM is usually low because of this ease of use thing. And what we're doing with integrating email and CRM is we're bringing CRM into your normal workflow, which is, your email, according to the first study, 3/4 of the time, if not more. So very important for ease of use and just getting people to use it. And then this study's great too. It says that companies that make data-based decisions are 19 times more profitable. Really cool, because what we're doing inside of email is we're bringing information out to you where you interact with your customers and you make these important decisions. So hopefully we can make you 19 times more profitable as well. Okay, so at the end of the day, you've made a huge investment in CRM. Having email integrated with your CRM is super important because, in my opinion, otherwise people are not using Salesforce, right? They're not using your CRM. So this is the let's get into the topic of the actual webinar. So there's been several announcements around the um, there's been several announcements around the Salesforce for Outlook and Gmail retirement, and at the moment, the as it stands right now, the full retirement of Salesforce for Outlook and Gmail is set for December of 2027, and it still works, but there are certain features and functions in it that don't work anymore, and there will be no updates. And then, so there's a possibility some things would stop working before that, but I guess we just don't know. And then also, I'll mention that like the main replacement or one of the replacements for this from Salesforce is Inbox, which is about $25 a month, and that's the Salesforce premium version. Um, so that's yeah. Someone's asking like, what are the functionalities that are going to stop working? And Cindy, like, we really don't know. Basically, they're stopping development, and I know like the create records. There's like a button at the top where you can add records to Salesforce from email, and I know that already doesn't work. But it's kind of like a product that's out of date. You don't know when things will stop working because it's like a functionality. The functionality stops working with like maybe the modern Outlook client or something, right? So I wish I had a better answer. I do know that the create records doesn't work and that it'll be fully retired in December of 2027. Also, Lightning Sync has already been retired, um, and um, Lightning Sync was the sync product that originally was built into Salesforce. And what they're trying to do, or what Salesforce wants you to do, is go to Einstein Activity Capture. And the cost for that, for most organizations, is $50 per user per month. So it's not cheap. Okay, so back to the comments. We got some great answers. Here's a few more of the Grinch is a good one. Um, so we're going to ask another question, and that question is, are you using Outlook or Gmail? So Outlook, and that includes like Exchange, Office 365, right? Any version of the Microsoft email product. Or are you using Gmail, Google Workspace? And then I'll just show, so Furman answered right away. I actually use both of them too. So I think there's only a few people like that, but our live emails on Google Workspace, and I use Outlook on top of that on my Mac. So here's some others: Gmail, Outlook, a lot of Outlook. Okay, I'll show both. Continue to if you can spare a few keyboard keys. There's somebody else using both. Michael, yeah, interesting. Um, okay, continue to answer, and I'm going to move on here. So the whole idea with our connectors are you can do everything from email, like you open a message and you see relevant information in Salesforce. Obviously, you can save messages, email messages to Salesforce, and then you can link it to anything, even custom objects. So you can save your emails under like an opportunity or a contact or a company, whatever you want. And then we have a background sync as well. So it's kind of like this, the email sidebar here is the equivalent of the Salesforce for Outlook that and Gmail that's being retired. And then the background sync is like the Lightning Sync or like Einstein Activity Sync. And then the same thing can happen from the calendar. You can um, you do everything from the calendar too. So like when I talk about email integration, just FYI, like I'm usually talking um, about like both email and calendar, and it's pretty much a mirror image, except like the syncing of the calendar is a little bit of a different thing in that, you have recurring events and things like that. So it's the same, but the calendar sync is a little more sophisticated than the email sync, if you will, at least the automated background sync. Um, and actually, this is another good one. Like, um, do you guys have a uh, paid subscription to ChatGPT? Um, it's good. That would be interesting. Um, that would be interesting to know. So I'm just going to go through a few more questions. Looks like most people are using Outlooks, bunch of Gmails too. There's another one like me that's that's oops. There's another one like me that's using both. Okay, interesting. And then I asked about ChatGPT, and Jody answered right away and said no paid subscription. It's pretty cool because if you do end up using our connector, you'll get like what's the equivalent of a paid subscription to ChatGPT included in it. And I'll show more about that in a little bit. Um, Scott's at Gmail. Thank you, Scott. Um, okay. And again, where you're typing the replies here, if you do have a question while presenting, please throw it in there and I'll try to respond to it. So now I'm going to go into like a little bit of the differences between our like connector versus Salesforce, and it kind of doesn't matter. Like even if you don't end up using our connector, these some of these differences are relevant to like other situations too. So hopefully you'll find it helpful no matter what. So although like we have the only native Gmail solution, by the way, called a Gmail add-on, right? Everything else uses a Chrome extension. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And that means it works on mobile. It works um, on any browser and so on. So we're the only native solution. And here's like a little chart about like what the differences are between a Chrome extension and a native solution. So this is only for the Gmail people or the Google Workspace people, whatever you want to call it. So a Chrome extensions, I don't know if you guys have had experience with them, but I find them very unreliable. Like if you have two Chrome extensions that are trying to use the same real estate on your screen, they actually conflict with each other, which is not great. So that makes them unreliable. They conflict. And Chrome extensions are really tough to deploy. They actually have a local footprint on each and every computer, and that makes it really difficult. And then obviously they don't work on mobile, and they only work in Chrome or like a Chromium browser, I think is the technical term. There's other browsers that use the Chrome engine, right? But for example, not Safari. Um, and then we're using something called the native Gmail add-on, and they pretty much always work because it's built right into Gmail on the cloud or the Google Workspace on the cloud. It works with all other add-ons, so they don't conflict with each other. And I'll show it in a minute. Google provides some other add-ons too, and they work very well. But the bottom line is it's easy to deploy to because it's deployed through the Google Workspace cloud. You can just make one click and it'll deploy to everyone. And it works, it actually syncs directly from Gmail over HTTPS to Salesforce. And like these Chrome extensions, like if you give it access to your screen, it can literally see what you're doing at your bank account. Ours is a Google add-on, and it just lives in Gmail in the cloud and communicates directly with Salesforce over HTTPS. So it's so much more secure. And then ours, because it's an add-on, works on mobile and any browser, including Safari or whatever. So I apologize. This screen has a lot of stuff. It's very small. I'll just do some like highlights here. So like when you look at like what Salesforce is providing and what our connector does, like we provide this ChatGPT integration. They don't. You can actually install ours yourself. You don't have to be an administrator. If you want to do the free trial, you can. Ours works on mobile. Theirs doesn't. Chrome only. And then something really odd about especially Einstein Activity Sync, it syncs emails to Amazon AWS outside of your Salesforce.com environment. And um, and then it 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 like saves them there unencrypted, so they're not encrypted, and it deletes them automatically after 6 months, unless you pay extra, and then it'll keep them for 24 months. It's crazy. Whereas our connector saves them right to the Salesforce.com repository, and that also means that those emails show on all your reports and things. They're not saved outside of Salesforce. It's really odd. I don't understand why they did that. I guess it's good for us, but it's really strange. So here it talks about how a lot of the emails that are saved by Einstein Activity Capture don't save on most reports. Um, Synced emails get deleted, ours don't. They don't sync recurring calendar items. We do. Attachments aren't saved. We sync attachments. Takes almost a day to sync. We sync every 10 minutes at least. Um, we have social media integration, and theirs is like a lot more expensive. Ours is like the list price is $25 per user per month, discounted to 20 if you pay annually, right? And that includes both ends. So you're getting the connector for either Outlook or Gmail. So the user interface part, which is like Gmail, the equivalent would be like Salesforce Inbox. And then you're getting the background sync when the equivalent would be Einstein Activity Capture. So it's like a third the price of those two things put together. I have a pricing slide I'll do at the end. So I'm about to get to the live demo, but basically, if you use Outlook, you can download and install a trial for the connector. You do get you do you can do it from the Microsoft App Source or Tools Get add-ins, right? Um, and it's easy to deploy in mass if you're the Exchange admin. And for Gmail, it's a little plus sign on the bottom right. I'll show you that live in a second. And you can install it from there, right? And if you're the Google Workspace admin, you can install it for everyone. And then we have like a licensing engine or like um, um, a licensing engine that you can like allocate it to a subset of your users if you do install it in the whole domain. And there's like a login for you. So let's get to the live demo. Let me see if there's a few more questions I can answer first. Someone's asking about SMS. We actually had a product that did SMS, but like um, I think I'm gonna put that aside. If you want, you can email me about that. It's not easy to do SMS in Salesforce, but we're gonna focus on email here. Um, and the ChatGPT stuff, one user has Copilot. That's interesting, but no ChatGPT from Dan. Um, yeah, Copilot's cool too. Let's get in the live demo. Let me share my screen here. All right, you guys should be seeing my screen. So I'll start out with Gmail, then I'll go to Outlook, and I'll kind of stay in Outlook after that. So a couple of things about Gmail. These add-ins show on the sidebar here. You look on the right side here. This is our Salesforce add-in. The way you get it is you click this little plus sign, and then you can just search for Salesforce connector. But if I search for I'm going to search for our company name. These are all our connectors. You can see, we have our own CRM, which is fully integrated with Gmail. We have this Salesforce connector, which we'll focus on here. You can see it has 170,000 installs for just this, and really good reviews and things. So we also support other CRMs like HubSpot and Zoho and so on. But basically, you just click on this. And then I already have it installed, but you would have an install button there. You install it. If you're the workspace admin, you have the opportunity to install it for everyone. Then it shows up on the right-hand side here. When you first open it, it'll ask you to authenticate with Salesforce.com. And again, we're talking directly from the Google Cloud to Salesforce. So your credentials aren't stored anywhere outside of, and your data is not stored anywhere outside of Gmail and Salesforce, and you're already using those. So it's a very secure architecture, right? Much more secure than a Chrome extension, um, where like they're able to read everything, and it's communicating not from the Google Cloud, but from like your desktop to Salesforce. Sorry, I need a little drink. Okay, so when you open the connector for Salesforce on the right-hand side here, um, it stays open, and when you don't have a message open, it gives you like, oh, what are your tasks today, from Salesforce, shows you some recently viewed items, and all this stuff is clickable, right? I can click into it. Um, and there's some ChatGPT features here. Like you can just ask ChatGPT like any question, for example, right from here. But anyway, the real magic happens when you open a message. So I'm open this message from Adam, right? And then you can see on the right-hand side, the connector actually opens, and it found the sender of this message in Salesforce, and they're a contact. And I can like click here to open the contact right in the connector sidebar, right? I'll show that in a second. And then this is the company that James works for, right? And some other information. And in its simplest form, you might just want to click this button here and log the email to James person. So if I click the button, um, now the message just gets logged in salesforce.com just like that. And then one thing I'll say too, if you had, and you can see it's added, I can open the message, right? And it's actually added to Salesforce in the email object. It's configurable. You can either use the email or the task object. But the email's there now. And then I can also link the email to anything else in Salesforce, like an opportunity, a custom object, and basically it's going to move it to that object through this manual search. I'm going to skip over some of this stuff and scroll down to the bottom, and it shows the related information. So these are the uh, um, records from Salesforce that are related to James person who sent the message. So you can see there's an opportunity, there's some campaigns and no cases and things like that. So if I just wanted to like link it to this opportunity, which isn't connected to James person, I can just click on this little link here. So I don't have to like use that other option above where I clicked on link and then search for the opportunity. If I click it, that's it. This message is now moved and it's linked to this opportunity in salesforce.com, right? I'm going to scroll. Now we scrolled back up. So I skipped over this before. If you do want to open the contact, you can just open the contact right here. And then you can edit it right here in the sidebar if you want to edit the contact. And all the drop downs, everything's here. If you have custom fields, custom drop downs, everything's just automatically detected. I think the term is called metadata driven. So it's metadata driven. So everything from Salesforce is just here. So let me go back, but maybe the screen's too small and you want to open it in Salesforce and see more information. You can just quickly do that too. So now it just redirected me um, to Salesforce, right? And I can see that, in fact, here's the message, right? And it's already linked to this opportunity, right? Remember, I linked it to the opportunity. And if you want, you can edit the contact or update the contact right here in Salesforce. So back and forth to and from Salesforce. Just going to go back. I'm going to show mobile real quick, and then I'll switch to Outlook. It should work. So this is really cool. This is the new, it's called iPhone mirroring on a Mac, which just came out with the latest iOS version. So here's another email message. It's from the same person, this James person. And then you can see down at the bottom, this is where the add-ons show. And I just clicked on the Salesforce connector, and you'll see that everything that is in the right side here is now at the bottom um, in um, in mobile. So I really love on mobile. Um, the ChatGPT stuff, especially like where you can make it reply to a message for you, right? And also another thing that's really nice is we support Salesforce templates. So a lot of times people send me, here you can do reply using template. A lot of times people send me questions that require like a very lengthy answer, maybe with uh, images and links and things like that. And and that isn't really easy on a mobile device, but if you use the templates a lot, it is pretty easy. So you can actually read this message. Give me a quote for your product. Well, I don't know which product they're talking about. I have multiple products. I swear I get this message all the time. So I can just ask ChatGPT to reply to this message for me. I can also like make it preview it, but and then iterate through the responses. Again, I could do the same thing on the right side here. I'll do reply using ChatGPT, and it actually opens a um, a intermediary screen, and I can say it's a pretty good response. Let me know which specific product. This is really good. So, so I can either reply using this content or I can refine it. I could say make it more formal, but I'll click reply. And that's it. It launches this message. Really cool, right? On my iPhone. And I can edit it a little more before I send it. And that's it. I don't even have to reply to my emails now. I have AI for that. All right, let's go over to Outlook. Let's, you know what? I haven't been, let me see if there's, uh, yeah. So there's a few questions. So how does it work? You have multiple emails, CC, BCC. So generally speaking, it saves the message against the sender if they're a Salesforce contact or lead, like it'll save it against that. And then the BCC and the CC get linked to, so the message is um, linked to all of them. So the sender, the CC, and the BCC in Salesforce. Um, so it's saying, can you configure which contact fields are highlight? No, like Darren, this is when we were doing open contact. I should have addressed this then. Sorry, but if I edit the contact, um, it automatically shows all the Salesforce contact fields. There is this toggle though, which I really love, by the way, which is show required fields only. So it makes it a lot easier to just get to the fields that are important and edit them. Hopefully that will work for you. I hope it does. Um, okay, cool. Um, yeah, this is a really good one. I should have mentioned this. Thank you, Michael. So do related records override permission? No, nothing overrides permissions. When you log into the connector for the first time, it asks you for your Salesforce credentials, and everything you're doing from the connector is done as you in Salesforce. So you can only view or edit the things in Salesforce from the connector that are available um, for you when you log into Salesforce. It's exactly the same. Like from a technical standpoint, it's using the REST API, and when you use the REST API, you need a credential to do so, and we're using the real Salesforce credential for that. So let's get into Outlook real quick. We're kind of moving along. Maybe my favorite part might have been what the holiday movies were, but it's pretty much the same thing in um, Outlook, right? So if I open a message and then let me talk about adding it real quick. So you, similar to Google, you do get add-ins though here, and then once the add-in is added to Outlook, it shows up here. And if you're the if you're the Exchange admin, you can push this out to to all your users right from here. I strongly recommend you pin um, it's called an add-in in Outlook. It's confusing. It's an add-on in Google and an add-in in Outlook. So I highly recommend you pin it in Outlook, and then it pretty much works the same way. Like I can log an email, I click that button, and boom, it's logged. Something I should mention too is we do have an automatic background sync that you can turn on or off, or you can set up rules and have it do certain things. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But you maybe when you open this message, it might already be added to Salesforce and it would show like that because you had automatic sync turned on. Now, remember, you can link the email to anything. And then I want to discuss this mark thread. So a compromise between automatically syncing everything um, and like manually clicking this button one click to send the email is mark thread. So if I click on this mark thread, now it says the thread is marked for sync to Salesforce. So that just means any future replies to this message will be automatically synced to Salesforce. I actually really like this setup. A cool thing about this too, if you do link the message to another object, like let's say you link it to an opportunity down here by clicking on this little link button, right? Then and you mark the thread, it will then just automatically sync all the future replies to this thread to Salesforce, and it will be linked to the opportunity, not just any email address of the lead or whatever it comes into. So look, I'll look at a little bit more here. You can like toggle between the company and the contact, and the same thing is true for the Salesforce for the Gmail connector. So some companies are like more contact or lead centric, and others are like company centric. So you can toggle back and forth. We actually have like social media links. So for example, it'll usually just bring up the social media or the LinkedIn link for the person that sent the message. You can click here and see the activities. So these are like the email messages and things, and you can click to do my tasks, and add a task. I'm going to go back to related, right? And if I scroll down, again, this is where we saw the related opportunities and things, and you can drill into these too. So if I want to see what's going on with this opportunity that is related to the contact that sent the message, I can do that. I can even place in an edit mode, right, and edit it right here, or I can click open in Salesforce, right, and it'll like bring me to that opportunity in Salesforce. Maybe I want a bigger screen for this, right? So anyway, let me go back. Another use case, and I'm almost done here. So just give me a few more minutes, and if you do have more questions, ask them. One other quick use case is maybe somebody sends you an email and they say, "Oh, I have a problem," and you want to open a case. Or maybe they're telling you about a new opportunity. You want to create a new opportunity. If you click this little plus sign here, um, and um, then it'll add a case, in this case, pardon the pun, and it copies like the body of the email into the description, and if there's any attachments, it includes them. It's really powerful. So someone sends you an email about a new case, you just create a case right here and save it, or you learn about a new opportunity while you're in your email, make a new opportunity right from here. Super easy. Um, so let's go to the questions again. Sorry to. I s- Yeah, it works in all versions of Outlook back to including the most current and back to 2019, I believe. So yeah, basically we support anything Microsoft supports. Um, uh, yeah, it says the connector's already available, Esther. Just go do get add-ins in Outlook or click the little plus sign in Google and add it. And we're always updating it too. Um, So hopefully you can do that. If you do have trouble like with that, you can email support at iEnterprises.com. We really, um, yeah, um, we really get on them right away. If you're having any trouble at all, please just, we have really good people that answer. It's not like asking you more questions. Just a little bit more about ChatGPT. It's got like this translate feature, which is really cool. And then it also has, um, um, like, tell me about the company that sent the message, or tell me about the person that sent the message. Or you can just ask ChatGPT any question, and it's like you have a paid version of ChatGPT. This tell me, I use this all the time. Like, somebody sends me a message, and rather than going to the website and hunting around, I just say, ChatGPT, tell me about this company, and I get a really good summary. This is where the related, where you can do reply using template, and set up your automatic sync. You can also just browse all your Salesforce records. So the other use case is like, to, you know, you get a message. This is pretty much, I've been covering what happens when you get a message from someone who's already in Salesforce as a lead or a contact. And here I got a message from Bill Gates, but Bill is not in Salesforce. You can see it has some social media links and things. I can just add a person that's not there to Salesforce right from here, and it'll try to pick up as much information about them, like phone numbers and things, from the message, and then it'll also fill in like the company name from LinkedIn to help you add it. Actually uses ChatGPT to look at the message and get, like, extract phone numbers and things like that. So that's the other major use case. I'm going to go back to Gmail real quick. So it's the same thing on the calendar, and I'm almost done. So if I click on a calendar item, so now James Person is invited to this, and it's found in Salesforce, and I can log the event. Again, there's an automatic sync for the events. I like to actually see people using the automatic sync more for calendar items um, than the emails, because, like, let's say you have a process in Salesforce.com that automatically um, creates um, creates items. From in Salesforce, and then you can push into your Google or Outlook calendar from there. Um, um, yeah, somebody says they like Einstein Activity Sync. That's cool. So the thing about Einstein Activity Sync is you will eventually lose these conversations anyway. So I would suggest, if you use ours, you'll never lose them unless you want to. So I think the easy thing to do might be, like, because they don't store them in Salesforce, they store them on Amazon AWS. I would export them and then import it. So Mac, Outlook for Mac. Yeah, I'm on a Mac actually. So this whole demo was on a Mac. So yeah, it's pretty much 100% the same. Um, this one looks a little deep, but I'll try to answer. I'm almost done. My company currently has a one-way sync between Outlook and Salesforce. Uh, well, this is really a question um, about the Salesforce sync. Yeah, I think it'll just stop when it retires. Um, but anyway, we have a contact sync as well, if that's something you really want. So I'm going to go back. Any other questions? The trial is available. Thanks, James. For Outlook, just do tools, get in, search for the Salesforce connector, install it. You get a 7-day trial. And if you need more time, by the way, um, like, let's say you go 7 days, and it was this week, so it was the holiday week or whatever, you just email us. We'll email you too and say, do you want more time? So it's absolutely fine. And then I think a lot of you also had previously registered for the one of the connectors. So if you email us, so when you install it, it'll be like, oh, you've been using this for a year or something. Just email us and we'll set you up with a new trial if that's what you need, right? So get the connector, install it, um, and try it. So I'm going to go back to the um, slideshow. Almost done here. So just so you know, the pricing is 24.95 per user per month. If you pay monthly, that you would have to do by credit card. It's 19.95 per user per month paid annually. And then, like, if you do have hundreds or thousands of users, you'll get a pretty good discount. So definitely contact us about that. And we kind of don't play the game like where we get you in at one price and then we give you a, we say, oh, you want wheels with that car, that costs extra. No, we just give you everything at one price. So everything I showed is included in the product. And speaking of that, like I have the iEnterprise CRM up here. So that's our own CRM. And it's kind of the same thing. We give it to you at one price, but that's like 35 or 30 per user per month. It includes the connector. It includes the social media integration, chat GPT stuff. And it's only got one paid version, right? It's not like we have like a silver, gold, platinum, and we're always trying to upgrade you and get more money out of you. You get everything at that one price. We even like import your data for you and configure it. So anyway, if you do have questions, give me a call, shoot me an email. If it's a technical question, you can do support@ienterprises.com. Um, I really do appreciate everyone. Let's see if there's somebody's asking how much. I covered that. Um, and then uh, but this is a really good one. Um, is the contact sync included? Yeah. So no, everything's included in the when you buy the add-in or add-on, you get the automatic sync included, and the contact sync is just part of that. So we give you everything for the one license price. Um, there's no um, um, there's no additional cost for anything. It's just one price. Um, And yeah, this is nice, James. Yeah, my pleasure. By the way, just in case you're wondering, I use something called StreamYard to do these streams, and it's a fantastic tool. I have no, you know, I don't own any stock or anything, but it's a great little tool. I appreciate. Um, yeah. So somebody's asking if you have like a company with the pricing is based on email, um, individual email users call it. So each individual email ID is how we price. So if you have hundreds or thousands of users, shoot an email to sales@ienterprises.com, and we will totally get you a pretty good price if it's quite a number of users. So please do email. So I'm going to wrap up. Again, it's the holiday season. Don't forget to subscribe. That could be your gift to me. Please do subscribe. And I want to thank you for joining. And hopefully I'm providing decent content. And yeah, and connector is available for Gmail. Here it is on my screen. Sorry, it's you just do get add-ins and you can add it. Yeah, and somebody's emailing. Please email us for a trial. I'm going to wrap up now, but thank you again. Have a great holiday season, and it's really my honor to be here with you today. Have a fantastic holiday season, and thank you again.